So what have you guys done so far, and how has it gone so far?
Yeah, it's a good month or so. September is heavy strength and conditioning, heavy individual work. It gives us good time to spend one-on-one time with the players and attack what we assess their individual needs. For the new guys, just getting them adjusted to life in our program, life at University of Arizona. And then we started fall practice last Friday, and we're into our 45-day window. Had our first inter squads last weekend, and off to a good start. A lot to feel good about in terms of players with successful experience within the program. And hopefully some new players that will mesh with them well, and ability and chemistry and those types of things to get us off to a good start.
How soon can you see the progress from the offseason with a lot of guys?
Some it's very noticeable. I take a player like Tyler McGill, for instance, and the priority he put on his body and his strength and conditioning to be able to be as healthy as he can be. I mean, he looks like a completely different human being. Just one picture side by side. Others, we haven't done enough in terms of scrimmage competition yet to really see it come to light. But a lot of the strength and maturity of the older players, can be really noticeable.
Did anyone jump out at you in those first scrimmages? Anyone surprise you with their performances?
Yeah, I think what we do is we take things, step by step in terms of our development. And so the first couple were really built around what we have implemented as a team, and it was good to see those things done at a high level. Shows good aptitude for learning from our players. I believe, the guys that you're all familiar with look like the guys that we've known them to be in terms of Alfonso Rivas, Cal Stevenson. I mean, they went like a combined 11 for 12 on the weekend or something like that, which was great to see. I think having most of our team healthy, it allows us to do a lot of different things, try some guys in different positions and those sorts of things. So really the focus right now is not necessarily on a particular player or roles or any of that, but it's learning our process of building the right player and the right team, and we kind of keep it there for now.
Having had a couple months now, a few months since the end of last season, how do you view the type of year that you guys had last year?
It was a great year. I mean, to win 38 games, to have a good standing in the Pac-12, to be the only team in the Pac-12 in the NCAA tournament each of the last 12, or excuse me, at least the past 2 years, is a great accomplishment. And it's something we take a lot of pride in because of the strength of our conference, the number of good programs. I mean, you could argue, 2017 was a better regular season than 2016. The only difference was obviously the postseason success was different, and that's going to happen. I mean, you go to a regional where there's, 2 College World Series teams from the year before in terms of us and Texas Tech, and that's a challenge. And faced a really good team playing hot at the right time. And you can't guarantee success in those, so we just go right back to preparing and developing. But there's nothing but positives in my mind about 2017.
What did you think about the change to 16 seeds?
I don't really think a lot about it. In our area of the country, it's really hard to develop an RPI. I mean, it takes a conscious effort to put yourself in that group. As a couple years ago, there were no, hosts from the West. So I think with it seems like there's an overwhelming positive feeling around the country that this is a good thing. Then it's a good thing. We're located in a very unique spot where we're not 400 miles from anybody. So I mean, we could go to, Florida State as easily as we could go to California or the Midwest or Texas for a regional. And so it might be a little bit of a selfish way of thinking, but I don't know that it impacts us a whole lot.
Yeah. What is the new hitting facility? What is it for the program?
Oh man, let's just say we're pulling hard for Terry Francona and the boys tonight in terms of gratitude towards that. We really pride ourselves on offense here, and for 2 years, when you stack up, basic or simple statistics with our program, with not just the programs in the West, but across the country, we're towards the top in a lot of categories. And so offensive player development is a priority to me and to our program, and it's something we take a lot of pride in. So now to have that facility as a place to enhance that, as a place where our players are going to want to show up and spend time in, it meshes well with what we believe in player development, which is work ethic, solid fundamentals, and to have that facility to do that, it's like, man, I can't thank Terry enough. And it's really can't quantify it even yet, but for being in there for a week, it's been pretty nice.
What is different or better about it compared to what we had before?
Well, I think from an appearance standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, you walk in, it looks like a special facility, one that, was well thought out, one that, really catches or passes the eye test, if you will. But functionally, we can use it for a lot of different things. We're lucky here in Arizona, we don't deal with weather hardly at all in terms of college baseball, but the ability to throw bullpens in there, to simulate, live game situations in there if we ever needed to, bunting area, rooms for all our machines, and just have it really be a point of pride for our players that the university is investing in their development and them pursuing their dream of being, major league players someday and being the best players they can at the University of Arizona. I mean, it accomplishes a lot of those things for us.
You mentioned recruiting. How much does that give you a boost and some added kind of firepower in recruiting?
Well, it should, and we're in a great period as a program right now where the caliber of player that we're attracting and going up for is probably at the highest level it's been, at least since we've been here. Now, with that, there's some really competitive battles. You're recruiting against the top programs in the country, and again, not just regionally. And so I think that will only help us in that, and we need it to help us in that. If those are the caliber of players we're going to pursue, going to be attracted to us, you have to build a strategy in winning those battles. And every advantage you can have is really important.
What's been the biggest difference between Greg Byrne and now Dave Hickey, especially when it comes to what's happened recently with your extension and things of that nature?
Yeah, I think they are both wonderful athletic directors. I'm obviously grateful for Greg for bringing me here, and what I would call, my dream job, if you will. And then for Dave, in a short period of time to come in and do the things he's done for our program and for me personally is something I'm very grateful for. He's a guy you want to work hard for, and not that I need any other motivation than what's in here, but we want to do a great job for our university and for this community and to make it proud, and you have to have forward thinking, to do that. And so to have a administrator that is a baseball guy, he was the head of the NCAA tournament committee in 2015, that is that passionate about our program and its success is it's a great feeling. So I think they're both great, and I'm really, really happy to have Dave here.
That contract extension, what does it mean to you on a personal level, and what does it mean also as far as the stability of the program?
I think it's one and the same, because when talking about me personally, all of my thoughts are geared towards what's best for Arizona baseball. And I think from a program standpoint, for 2 years, you're listening to a lot of things that are essentially, rumors of you're leaving, you're not going. That's off the table. I'm an Arizona Wildcat, and this is where I want to be. Our coaching staff is great, and the university's done some nice things for them as well. And we're excited to be here, and it allows you to think about the program, in a long-term way as well as just a short-term way, and to be able to do that, to be able to express that vision very confidently to our players, our current players, our recruits and their families, I think it's going to do a lot for us. And so that's really all I care about.
Is Alfonso going to be the first baseman? We're going to primarily play first base, I guess.
We're putting most of his defensive time, development, instruction towards first base. Did a nice job in the Cape Cod League there this summer. He is a good outfielder, as we know, and a baseball player above all else. So I'm very confident he could go out and do that as needed. But we're spending most of his time at first base right now.
And is Cal playing center field now?
Be good. Should be a good battle there. I mean, you have Cal, Mitchell Morimoto, and Matt Frazier, all essentially center fielders. And I like the fact that all three of them can play all three spots. We have some other younger players that are talented as well. Dante Williams is a true center fielder. You mentioned Alfonso can go out there. Blake Paw is another physical freshman that we like a lot. I'm hesitant to go for it. I don't want to leave anybody out, but the outfield is a really important position here, both offensively and defensively in this program and at our field. And I feel like we have some nice options of experienced, seasoned, successful players and newcomers that can do some things as well.
What did you make of Nick Quintana's freshman year overall, and then his performance in the summer?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question a lot of our success last year you can attribute to Nick as a freshman playing at a higher level in this conference than most freshmen are able to. I mean, I think he was an honorable mention All Pac-12 player, which is tough to do as an 18 or 19-year-old right out of high school. I think we have a good basis of now what do we need to do for him to take that next level, that next step. And so when you look at building a template for his development, it's very clear what we need to do and what he needs to do to progress in his development. And he has the work ethic to do it. He has the makeup to do it. And I'm really excited about that. So his progress this fall is a point of emphasis for our coaching staff.
Been hearing some good things about Cameron Cannon so far. What have you seen out of him? What do you expect out of him?
Hey, he's a talented player. I just mentioned Matt Frazier, and you just mentioned Nick and Cameron Cannon. I mean, those are three guys that have a lot of ability. All were drafted out of high school. All did some good things for us last year on a veteran-laden team. And the key to our team moving forward and our program moving forward really has more to do with the guys that have been in your program for a year or 2 years than anything that you bring in. Baseball is a game of experience. So I've always liked Cameron's ability, and we want to develop that, and we want to also formulate that in the context of a winning type player. I want him to be one of the better players on our team because I believe that he's capable of it. We're probably holding him accountable at a higher level than just your average player to ensure that those strides are made.
Yeah, I've asked you this before, but